Hello everybody. Today I want to show you an example of how you can improve performance within Pentaho data integration within your transformations. It's a pretty simple example. Here I have a generate rows step, which basically is going to generate 10 million rows for us, 10 million records. So, and then we're going to take that, we're going to do a simple JavaScript step here, which just adds those two columns together to create a third column. And then we're not really gonna do anything with that. We just want to show this as an example. So below here you'll see my PC monitor. So for example, I'm monitoring the utilization of my CPUs. I have a dual core CPU here, so you can see CPU 0 and 1. Notice the let's notice the baseline here, what's being used. You'll notice the CPU 0 is being used quite a bit. That's because of my recording software that's currently recording this. And then I have my CPU number 1, which isn't being utilized as much. So I just have this simple transformation here. Let's go ahead and run this transformation and keep an eye on the CPU utilization, and we'll notice a couple things here. So we're going to go ahead and launch this. And so as it's running, notice that the CPU utilization of the second one goes up, and same with this one, same with the CPU 0. However, notice that the CPU 0 is bouncing around a little more because it's processing this generate rows, and then the modified JavaScript is utilizing CPU 1. And then as it's finished, you see the CPU usage drop. So now what I can do to increase performance and leverage both CPUs for this one particular step, what I could do is I can actually duplicate the step and pass the data to both. So for example, I could copy data or I can distribute data. In this example, I want to distribute. That way we're going to share that the load of that data between the both steps, since they both do the same thing. And then we're going to bring that data ultimately back together. So now what I want you to do is notice the CPU usage again, and here we see that former transformation finished in 27.4 seconds. So we're going to see some improved time as well. So let's go ahead and run this transformation. It's going to prompt me to save it, and then it's going to go ahead and run, and we'll see both CPU usage now spike and stay at 100%. And that's because we're utilizing both CPUs to run these two steps, whereas before it was utilizing one CPU to run that step. Now we're utilizing both of our CPUs. So if you're running a quad core, so on and so forth, you can leverage those cores to be able to improve performance within your transformations. And then as soon as it's finished, you'll notice that both of them drop back down. And you'll notice that we gained an improvement of time for about 5 seconds or so. So that's a simple way that you can increase the performance of your transformations, and that's by utilizing the available CPUs that are on your machine. If you have any questions, please feel free to make any comment you'd like.